I haven't released anything where I've really talked about it too much. Not with anybody from the Flea.
Y'all
And
gonna put me on
you
some
know,
tea.
now we had basically more or less been involved with various things from serials to like a main stage show throughout our time at this place. And then around June 2nd or something like that, a former bat who was my producer, Bryn Carter, who like shout out to Bryn, you're
Yeah.
a badass, you know
Yeah.
this. But she basically sounded off on the statement that the Flea made about Black Lives Matter, basically saying, and forgive me if I'm just condensing what she said, but how can you say Black Lives Matter when you're exploiting Black trauma in a season about Color Brave? Look past that and continue to defend the fact that you hardly pay actors. And look, we've both been like, our experiences have, well, I'm sure have been vastly different. What I've mostly learned from this is as much as the door has been shut for me, it's been slammed on a lot of people there. And I'm not going to sit here and ask you for your experiences with that, but I know that we're part of the solution, right?
The first time I saw Bryn's message to the Flea was through Black Girls Through Theater. I was literally one day I logged in and people had been like tagging me in the post. So then it created this like internal conversation about, wow, you are the steward of this community, and like her life, her experiences are supremely valid in our space. And then Renee, as a member of this organization, what does that also look like for your relationship to the organization and how you interact with them? Because I'm going to believe Bryn. And that's also going to be based on the fact that I'm also a member of the community and like what experiences I have had while being at the Flea at present. So I was in full alignment with everything that she said. I think it sparked a very important conversation, not only for the Flea community, but for the entire arts community, about what hypocrisy looks like and how all of these theater companies really feed into this narrative of Black trauma, and that being the primary storytelling tool that is used when talking about Black life.
It's the vessel, it seems like.
You can't have a Black character be like a main character without pain and struggle and rejection and possibly no resolve, honestly, being the narrative, the whole narrative. That's it.
And I think that they're aware of that too.
They have to be.
No, they have to be, because
in some sort of like way where like they think they're helping, but
yeah, no, it's like you're looking through rose-colored glasses.
Yes.
Realistically, the producers of these theater companies, the artistic directors, like they know
and
their
board
audience.
of directors.
Board of directors, they know their audience, and like, do old white people want to see like Black people happy? Like, is that going to sell as much to go see Black joy on stage when you're looking at, if you're 80 something years old? Like,
one of the things that came up is that the artistic director and the producer have to get their season approved by the board of directors at the Flea. And they do this presentation of a Color Brave season for a board that is half white people with a shit ton of money. And what are they going to say to this team? That no, we have some problems with a Color Brave season. And it's not just putting them in that position that's the problem. The deepest problem is that that's how we defined diversity. That's how we define bravery, trauma.
The We See You White American Theater movement, We See You What, on Instagram. I was scrolling through their page the other day because they've started posting testimonials. And the one that stood out to me the most, this playwright had sent their play to this theater company that really touted itself as being forward thinking and progressive and diverse. In the conversation with the artistic director, or with the producing director, who was a woman, that the woman said, I don't see myself in this story. And the playwright was a person of color. And she's like, yeah, like, why would you expect to see yourself in this story? And then they later went on to, like, I think produce another play that was like more like traumatic and so on and so forth.
So it kind of sends a message that white folks, you know, people who are picking and choosing what goes on stage, can see themselves in our pain, and that's fucked up.
Ooh, I
That's
love that.
Like, as you were saying that, I'm just like, so you can see yourself in me being tortured or hung or beaten or raped.
You know, we have a conversation about like generational trauma, and
Yeah,
I believe in generational evil, and
I believe that too.
it's
Yes.
like, if you can align with that, if you need another person's trauma in order to align with yourself, you gotta do some work. You have some work to do, because that's very telling. It's very, very telling.
Well, that's why the rhetoric around allyship in the past month has been so fascinating to see. I look back a month ago to like me being on this platform and being like, all that. Remember that week where like all the late night guys were like, "It's been a crazy week. I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna listen and I'm gonna back away." And I'm glad I didn't mostly do that shit, but I'm still working on myself and asking myself questions every day. But I think the point of allyship is that people don't feel like you're working in front of them to be better for them, right? Isn't that like how any relationship works? It's like, no, don't show me that
Right, or
you're
even don't tell
working.
me. Yeah,
You don't need to make it performative. You don't need to do the, oh, here are the grand gestures. Look,